One of the challenges in a firm is that the people who manage the business, especially as the business gets larger, are not the same as the people who own the business. And even above and beyond that is that the interests of the managers and or the owners are not the same as the interests necessarily of the workers in the firm. And so when there's the separation of ownership and control, then we have people who are making decisions about how to use the profits of the firm, how to use the workers of the firm, that may not align directly with the owners. And so the problem is that there is asymmetric information. So that just means that I might have information that you don't have. So the idea here is that these dotted lines represent information that might not get through. So workers have a lot of information that might not get up to management. Management has a lot of information that might not get up to the board of directors. And actually, we could have another line where the board of directors might have information that doesn't get up to the shareholders. And so because of this information asymmetry, we have problems in terms of how we organize a firm to best satisfy the owners of the firm. So the firm's profits, so remember, profits are just revenue minus costs. They legally belong to the people who own the firm. So that could be, a single person who's in a small firm, or it could be shareholders, right? People who own the stock of the firm. And those profits can get paid out as dividends, but there are also a lot of other things that a firm might want to do with its profits besides paying out dividends, right? A firm might want to invest in new capital or new technology in order to expand their business and increase their future profits. And so there's a conflict of interest between managers and owners, and as we'll see, also between managers and workers. And so if we want to try to align this interest, there's a couple of ways to do this. One is to link the manager's pay to the performance of the company's share price, and that's been done a lot through things like stock options, mostly at the executive level, but also at lower management levels as well. And obviously, we can also monitor the manager's performance. That's one of the most important roles of the board of directors, but there's a lot of concern among researchers that sometimes board of directors have been captured by the executives' interests. So they're representing more the executives' interest rather than the shareholders' interest. So when we talk about labor contracts, we describe them as incomplete, right? So a firm hires a worker and they want to say, all right, well, we want you to do what we tell you in the best interest of the firm. And some things are going to be unknown. Some things are going to require more effort rather than less effort. Remember, an employee is a human being who can figure things out and can either be lazy, can work hard, can be diligent, can be negligent. And so it's a challenge for firms to try to get workers to always act in the best interests of the firm. Because especially there may be times when an employee doesn't know exactly what's in the best interest of the firm. So a lot along sort of before the Industrial Revolution, we often had piece rate pay. So the idea is like, all right, you spin this amount of string, you provide this amount of work, and we'll pay you per piece that you provide, as long as it meets certain quality standards. It gives workers the incentive to exert effort, right? Because the more you can produce, then the more you get paid. But it didn't provide firms with a lot of flexibility, and it's usually not very good for modern jobs because workers often use fairly expensive capital and technology that is often best centrally located. I mean, that's not always true, right? So I have a radiologist friend who works at home, gets all the pictures from the x-rays and MRIs sent to him at his home workstation, can make the diagnosis and then send it back. So he's kind of being paid piece rate. I'm sure he's not. I'm sure he's on salary and might even be part of the ownership of the doctor's office. But it's similar to that. But most people have to come into work and work at a centrally located area. So when we think about workers' efforts, um, you know, the question is, why do people work hard, right? So some people just have a really strong work ethic. That's part of their personality, part of their culture, part of their upbringing. They might have a feeling of responsibility to the firm. They might want to reciprocate, right? So they might feel like, hey, well, I have a good boss, I have a good place to work. I want to work hard for them, so that they will continue to be a good place to work. Um, there might be some benefit to producing more, right? So there are some firms that will have bonus structures or profit sharing structures that when you're able to reach a certain goal, you get an extra payout. You might want to be promoted, right? So working hard might be a signal of, hey, I'm ready for the next level. You should promote me. Or there might be a fear of being fired, right? So if you feel like, all right, if I slack off, then I might get fired. And so we're going to focus on all of these sort of in this chapter and then chapter 9. Um, with the fear of being fired, definitely one of the most important features of this